Friendtastic is Hong Kong Disneyland's new regular daytime parade, debuted on June 28th this year. It features 11 floats with many Disney characters, and in my opinion, is the best daytime parade the park has ever had to date. Definitely a major highlight of the 20th anniversary event you do not want to miss. Be sure to check this out when you are visiting Hong Kong Disneyland. That is, if the weather allows. Like most parades, Friendtastic may be subject to cancellation depending on weather conditions. Recently, the new parade has been cancelled a number of times due to rain. As a result, Mickey's Rainy Day Express, aka Mickey and Friends Street Celebration, has once again returned. Replacing Friendtastic on rainy days, the train is now known as Disney Friends Party Express. Much like my previous review on Friendtastic, I would like to briefly talk about this mini parade in this video. For those of you who don't know, this train actually has quite a long history in this park. It was first known as Mickey's Rainy Day Express when it debuted sometime in 2006, and would only be performed on rainy days when the regular daytime parade got cancelled. The train was mostly in blue color with red train carriage roofs shaped like umbrellas and golden Mickey ears on each car. The Rainy Day Express was known to feature different characters based on which parade got cancelled due to rain at the time, such as Alice in Wonderland for Disney On Parade, the parade that opened with the park and ran until 2010, and the Three Little Pigs for Mickey's Waterworks Summer Parade. For me, I encountered the Flights of Fantasy Parade version of the Rainy Day Express, which featured Winnie the Pooh and Friends, the four princesses from the Swan Float, Toy Story characters, and finally, Mickey and Friends wearing raincoats. The Rainy Day Express has been known to also take part in other occasions not related to inclement weather, such as Mickey's Main Street Express during Disney On Parade's refurbishment, and the Christmas tree lighting ceremony in 2010, where Mickey and Minnie introduced us to Duffy the Disney Bear. In 2017, Mickey's Rainy Day Express was repainted to purple and became Disney Friends Springtime Processional during the springtime event, with each umbrella roof now having its own unique color palette. In 2020, the Rainy Day Express was renamed Mickey and Friends Celebration, replacing Flights of Fantasy due to COVID-19. The train eventually became the main mini parade for Hong Kong Disneyland's 15th anniversary, known as Mickey and Friends 15th Celebration. As part of Disney's 100th anniversary celebration in 2023, it was renamed to Mickey and Friends Street Celebration, where characters appearing on the train would vary each day. Sometimes Winnie the Pooh and Friends, sometimes Pixar characters, and sometimes Disney princesses, mostly during special occasions like International Women's Day. Mickey and Friends Street Celebration had its final performance sometime in February 2025 before the Duffy and Friends Playdays Springtime event. From that point until the beginning of the 20th anniversary, the parade route became empty with no parade or cavalcade showing throughout the day. It wasn't until June 28th when the parade route was finally filled with an actual parade again when Friendtastic debuted. However, as mentioned in the beginning, the new parade cannot be performed on rainy days like all the previous parades. So recently, when the parade got cancelled, we saw the return of Mickey's Rainy Day Express once again. Renamed as Disney Friends Party Express, the train has returned to being a rainy day mini parade that runs in case the regular daytime parade gets cancelled due to inclement weather. The train is still in purple color, but the train funnel, wheels, and the umbrella roofs are now repainted with Friendtastic's color palette. The theme song for the Party Express is the same as the showstop music from Friendtastic, which is I Got You. It features Mickey and friends from the opening float except Chip and Dale, characters from 2 Pixar movies randomly selected from the 5 Pixar floats, all 7 members of Duffy and friends, and all princesses and queens from the Castle of Magical Dreams finale float. From the Rainy Day Express to Mickey and Friends Street Celebration, and now Disney Friends Party Express, the train has taken part in many entertainment offerings along the parade route for 19 years. As such, it has probably become the longest running float in Hong Kong Disneyland, not counting the Main Street vehicles. Noticeably, there are quite a number of fans complaining that they don't like the Express because it is shorter than the usual parade. And yes, I would admit that the Rainy Day Express or the Disney Friends Party Express is still less entertaining than the big parades. But I'm personally fine with it as long as it only runs on rainy days. Mickey's Rainy Day Express provided something decent to enjoy in case of a parade cancellation, and still does so today. Even when you cannot see any of the parade floats, at least you can still see the characters from the parade on this train. I'm not saying that it should replace parades entirely. Of course, the main parade should still run throughout most of the time. To me, fans don't like mini parades or cavalcades only when they completely replaced a regular parade just because of budget cuts. The Celebrate Happy Cavalcade that debuted this year at Disneyland California is one example. Not only is it a horribly lackluster offering along the parade route for Disneyland's 70th anniversary, but it also replaced the regular daytime parade Magic Happens, which only ran for less than 5 years. Walt Disney World also has a cavalcade, but most guests including myself wouldn't mind that because it did not replace the usual parade. In fact, both Disney Adventure Friends Cavalcade and the Festival of Fantasy Parade are performed on the same day, and both feature different groups of characters. This means we can actually see a lot of characters at Magic Kingdom alone in just one day if we watch both entertainment offerings, which is pretty amazing. For Mickey and Friends Celebration, I can still understand them as Hong Kong Disneyland was operating under COVID-19 in 2020. Additionally, Flights of Fantasy has run for nearly 10 years and was honestly a bit outdated by that time. Don't get me wrong, I am also not fond of the train running for 5 years. It was honestly too long, considering that the COVID-19 restrictions were lifted in 2023. I personally think a new parade should have debuted during Disney 100th that year. Despite that, it is still an entertainment offering that fills up the parade route, which is something every castle park features. If you ask me, I definitely prefer having this train over an empty parade route. Without any parade or cavalcade being performed, Hong Kong Disneyland would honestly look really embarrassing. This has happened before during a number of Christmases as well as this year's Duffy and Friends Playdays. The lack of entertainment along the parade route was one of the reasons why I was so disappointed with these events. Not only does it make a part of the park feel empty, but it also makes it more difficult for guests to find their favorite characters. During Duffy and Friends Playdays, most of Mickey Mouse's appearances were replaced by Duffy and Friends. And in 2025's event, the Mickey and Friends Street Celebration was suspended, making it extremely difficult to find him. This was one reason why I hate Duffy and Friends at this event. Not everyone likes Duffy and Friends, and the park should have given other guests something else to experience. During the playdays in 2023 and 2024, Mickey's Rainy Day Express, Mickey and Friends Street Celebration was still running, and provided a wide variety of characters satisfying both Mickey fans and Duffy fans. Disney Friends Party Express also features both Mickey and Friends and Duffy and Friends, which satisfies both fans trying to catch a photo of their favorite characters. It's pretty decent, especially when guests don't have to wait a long line of meet and greet in order to see them. A few things I would like to suggest is that Mickey and Friends could have worn new raincoats, making this Party Express a little more special than just a directly watered down rain version of Friendtastic. Another suggestion is keeping the train's name Mickey's Rainy Day Express and bringing back the original theme song. This song was a pretty fun song to hear and also made sense because of the train's whistle in the soundtrack. It's kind of cute to see everyone on the train whistling together. Either way, it's good to see Hong Kong Disneyland have a backup plan for Friendtastic. So on a scale of 1 star to 5 stars, I'm going to give Disney Friends Party Express 3 stars. Mickey's Rainy Day Express or Disney Friends Party Express may not be the best when compared to any other parades. It is still significantly shorter and features less characters, but at the end of the day, it is still a decent entertainment offering, providing guests something to experience in case of inclement weather. And that's the end. I hope you enjoyed the brief history of this one single float I personally find pretty interesting to talk about. The video wasn't meant to be that long, so I may have possibly skipped some parts of the train's history. If you noticed I missed anything, feel free to let me know down in the comments. And as always, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and follow the channel on Instagram for more Disney updates. Thanks for watching, see you next time.